asked John this question last session. I wanted to ask you too. How would you intimidate your daughter's prom date?
I mean, you guys did such a good job talking about it. Let me think. What would I do? I'd definitely probably be, I think I might pull a thing where I'm like just lifting weights in back and smoking weed. Like I don't even talk to him. But like I look back. Nora comes out to the backyard and I'm like, she's like, Dad, okay, we're going to prom. Do you want to say anything to me? You know what I mean? Like we've been fighting. Like I don't want her to go, and I'm like pouting in the backyard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's up? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like that to the guy. And like I go up to him, I'm all sweaty, wearing a red tank top, short shorts. You can see my dick. And I shake his hand like super hard. I don't even like make eye contact. I'm just like, what's up, little man?
Yeah.
All right, you be respectful. You be respectful, bro. Watching you, ha ha ha. You know, just joking like that, but I like.
You're also kind of intimidated by him.
Yeah, I'm beat down. I'm beat the fuck down. I'm so tired. Like, I'm just not who I used to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I used to have pride and friends and stuff, and like, life just took its toll.
Yeah. And like, if this guy did disrespect your daughter in some way, like, what would you do? You know, not like what you would actually do, but like in the fantasy, like you're so beat down, like you wouldn't have any recourse.
Yeah, I'd probably go online. You know, I'd post online about it.
You know, like a neighborhood listserv.
Yeah, exactly. Like the Facebook neighborhood thing. I'm like saying that this guy's. I make up stuff that he's like steals copper wires out of the walls and stuff like that. And they're like, if you see him, do not hesitate to call the police and stuff. It does nothing.
Yeah.
It's just sad.
Yeah, that's good. I feel like that's actually more realistic of what my experience would be like in real life.
A lot of these guys would probably, I don't know. It's hard to say how fit teenagers are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could go either way. They could be a total sissy, or they might be one of these bodybuilder teens.
Yeah.
You know, that are like really strong.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure just based on my like old man moves, I could probably beat up a majority of like anybody who would be dating my daughter. I feel like I could beat up, but then
they know MMA now.
Yeah.
The trick is to just be able to lift someone up and throw them on the ground. Or like body slam them.
Yeah.
I think I could do that to a teenager.
Yeah, I think you could.
But some of these guys are built strong.
Yeah, some of them are already taking like nootropics and HGH and stuff like that.
Listening to Rogan.
Welcome to the Fantasy Cast podcast, where three grown men pass the time by sharing their deepest, darkest fantasies. Here we go.
So I was saying, have you ever thought about just going completely mad with a woman?
Oh yeah, all the time.
What's that like for you?
It's liberating.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you?
For some reason, I think when I use the word mad, it makes me think of like the 40s, Paris, or something like that. You know?
Oh yeah, say more about that.
Just like drinking absinthe and like maybe listening to jazz and wear a hat.
Yeah. Like you're in a really tense political time, but you guys are able to break free from that.
That's nice. Yeah. There's revolution in the air. You know, I meet another person on a train, maybe. You know what I mean? She throws a glass of wine in some guy's face and he's about to pummel her and I step in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And he punches me, I grab his fist with my hand and I just crush it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've always wanted to do that.
That would be cool. And she's still not impressed. And I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? On the string. I'm like, all right, whatever. I go back and I sit back in the car seeing little kids laughing at me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That'll fire you up.
Yeah, little brat. Then I go to a secret absinthe bar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Filled with foreign people,
a lot of
Asian people.
A Moroccan guy with a monkey on his shoulder.
Oh, yeah. Moroccan guy and Algerian guys.
Yeah.
And they're playing their music, which is kind of like, it's like jazz. It's like ethnic jazz.
Yeah.
And she's down there and it's scorching hot and she's like dancing like on a table, no shoes on.
A lot of interesting characters at this place.
Oh yeah, there's opium smokers, there's lesbians,
there's a bus driver, there's a construction worker.
There's like a man dressed up as a woman.
Oof.
Yes. Like what the fuck?
They only come out at night, huh?
Yeah, and like the guy's got like a cage with like a rooster in it, and he's like, "This is my lover," or something like that. And you're just like, "What?" And he has like a monocle. He's obese.
Yeah.
And you're like, "What the fuck is going on?" You know what I mean? But that's Paris in the time of revolution. And then she's dancing on a table. How do I win her over? I don't even know. How do you get in? How do you go mad with this girl? You know what I mean? What's my magic thing? Maybe she saves me. Do you know what I mean? Okay, here we go. This segues actually into what I want to talk about. Okay, this is actually, I'm going to change the setting of this fantasy to like 2014.
Yeah. And the
so all the shit's happening.
One of those like shitty fake speakeasy places like everybody knows about.
Yeah, it's like a tourist trap. A bunch of like guys are like, you have to pay to dance to see the women dance here, and I'm like, what? That's bullshit, man. And they're like, yeah, it's a shakedown. They beat the shit out of me because I don't have any money, and I was masturbating, and I was just straight up masturbating in there. Okay, and they beat the shit out of me. I wind up in the alley, and the sun's coming up, and this girl's so drunk she passes out on top of me. She trips on me, and then I take her home and give her a bath. We have like a wild affair for a long time. We backpack through Europe. We go to raves.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how fucking crazy that is? Go to concerts, raves.
Yeah.
Our van breaks down. You know what I mean? We go through it all. We go to Berlin and we go to a rave there in a club and all this stuff. And my parents are like, when are you going to come back home? You know? And I'm like, c'est la vie, mama, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just doing wherever the wind takes me. I go to all these raves all over the place. Yeah. I'm just doing ecstasy.
At one of the raves, the DJ says, "No one here is getting out alive."
Oh my God. And that's when like the things change between me and this girl. Because I start sobering up and I start realizing like culturally how different we are. Like she just doesn't get like a lot of stuff. Like I mentioned, Randy Newman. I'm like, some of Randy Newman's earlier stuff is pretty good. You should check it out. You know, I go on and on about Randy Newman. She's like, you mean that Toy Story American bullshit? You know what I mean? That Mickey Mouse bullshit. She like doesn't get it. She's like, I can't believe how stupid you are. You're so stupid, Michael. You have nothing about culture.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, geez, line up. I'm talking about Randy Newman. I'm not saying I love the guy. I'm not saying anything like that. And she's like, I listen to real protest music, like Pink. Yeah. Pink is a real artist.
Yeah.
You know? Christina Aguilera.
You guys are watching you're at a movie theater and a preview for a Mr. Bean movie comes on and she's just dying.
She thinks it's so funny.
But you play a Rob Schneider movie for her and she just doesn't get it.
Yeah. She's like, this man is a pig. He's stupid. She spits on the floor. So we're just like constantly going through that. She's like, you have no taste. You're so stupid. And she smells like shit. Like all the time because she's French. And because she doesn't bathe. And I think it's gross. And she's like, we're like trapped. We get like our passports get taken away from us because we like got busted for drugs, and we're like on trial, and we're gonna get off, but we're on trial in like a small town in Germany or something. So we're just in a hot apartment, just going crazy together.
Mm-hmm.
And she's trying to blow my mind with like ideas and stuff. Like we're just spending a lot of time talking about culture and art and stuff. And she's like, art can be found anywhere. You're too stupid to see that. You know what I mean? I see it. You see garbage and rubbish, and I see a whole world. You know what I mean? The magic is there, but you're too stupid. You know? And she like cheats on me. Like I come home and she's obviously like was just like blowing this guy on the couch. And he's like a little skinny guy with like a little thin mustache and like wearing like a tracksuit or whatever. And every time I try to confront her on it, she just is just like, this is so boring. You know, this conversation is so boring, Michaels. And that's all I got. Just like dating like a French girl who she just like thinks you're really stupid. But you think she's stupid, but she just doesn't she just doesn't get it. You know what I mean? In a lot of ways. She like just found out about Pantera. It's like she's like, this is the most powerful music I've ever heard in my lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And like, I heard that in high school. You know what I mean? And she keeps calling her mom and like making fun of me to her mom. And she's saying like I have no taste, I'm low class, and I'm just like a dumb American.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
But I know like I have better taste and I'm smarter than her. But she just can't see that. It just pisses me off so much.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I can't communicate it to her. She doesn't get it.
Yeah. She's writing a play. And it's about just this girl from a small town in France who just has this beautiful gift that she can see the world and the beauty in the world in such a more profound way than anybody else. And she can convert it into photography. And she just like captures the world in just an amazing way. And the conflict of the play is that she's wrought with self-doubt. And but she comes through it in the end, and the world finally sees how important her photography is.
What changes though?
What do you mean?
This is like a fantasy within a fantasy. What changes for her character in the play?
Nothing. That's what makes it so like tedious and like
she has like a dark night of the soul, maybe, or something like that. And then like the next day she gets like a show at the Pompidou or something like that.
It's like a masturbatory like reflection on how she sees herself. You know what I mean? And it's just like
it has nothing to do with the outside world.
It's totally frictionless. It's just like, hey, there's this girl who's like kind of weird and people don't understand her, but she's got a special gift that nobody can see, and she can only express it through her photography.
And I read it, and I'm afraid to like criticize her because she like hits me and stuff. Like slaps me, and I'm like struggling to say the right. I'm like so scared I'm going to say the wrong thing. I wake up, I'm laying in bed, and I see she's just staring out the window smoking. It's completely silent. The sun's coming in. Her hairy armpit is catching sunlight coming through the window. It's got little pieces of food in it, and there's a stack of like.
There's an entire baguette in one. She's warming
I'm just staring at the baguette that's stuck in her armpit. Like I see the manuscript there, and she's like, she looks back, she's smoking, and she's like, "It's done. I finished it last night. It's the best thing I've ever eaten." And I'm like, I immediately just start shaking a cold sweat because I'm like so scared of like. It's at a time where I was like, I wanted to make it work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wanted to have a girlfriend and to like, I wanted to make it work. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just trying to do everything right. And so I start reading the manuscript and I'm shaking. And the story, that you said, it's like her taking a little girl growing up, and she was always like her parents. She describes her parents in the way that like two logically minded parents, respectable people would react to like what she's doing, but she like fails to see that how crazy she's and unreasonable and spoiled she is.
Mm-hmm.
Like throwing a hissy fit. But maybe I could be wrong. This could be like a great person, or like a really inspired person. But whatever. Okay, and I'm just like, I put it down, and she's just staring at me, and she has a sock, and she's just filling it up with quarters. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
she's
you know what's
for a
coming
response. Quarters, bolts, pinball machine parts,
batteries,
whatever's lying around. And before I can even finish, I'm just trying to mumble my way out of it without saying something without saying anything.
Yeah.
Until she gets bored and she just beats the shit out of me for like 5 minutes
with the sock.
And a neighbor comes up. And he's like, I heard screaming. Is everything all right? And she's like, it's all right. We are just having the fun with my boyfriend. He's a little stupid sometimes. She gives me like a threatening look, like, don't say anything or I'll fucking kill you.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. And I sneak away in the middle of the night. I get back home. And like a couple years later, she's in like Fader magazine or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's all this great photography of her. And she describes like this horrible relationship she was in. And she just makes up all this stuff that was like obviously referring to me. And like, she basically says like the only good thing was that like spending time with this dumb American taught her, it like inspired her to do something. What did she end up doing? For her play, her avant-garde play. She's like a darling and lives in New York. I'm 100% the victim in this situation. I did nothing wrong, and I was such a good guy.
Yeah, you're just trying to make it work. Just in a tough time, yeah. The like climax of her play is she's like conflicted, like she really wants to post her picture on social media, but she is pulling back, and she is struggling with like her own sense of self-esteem and stuff like that. And she finally posts it, and she looks and she watches, and she sees a like, and then another like, and then another like, and then the likes just keep going up and up and up, and her photograph goes viral, and she's so happy, and that's the end of it.
Oh, I see. Yeah, from her point of view.
Yeah, that's like the when she's like arrived and become like actualized as a photographer.
And the camera pans down, and under the bed is the sock that was full of like pebbles and batteries and stuff like that.
Yeah. I really like that.
Thanks.
It's very very depressing.
Yeah.
Just being confined with somebody who just can't stand you but has no real recourse, so they just try to make your life miserable.
Yeah. That's like, why are you sticking around?
Yeah.
It's because we're stuck. We can't go anywhere.
Yeah, so that reminds me, I've like the kind of the flip side of that coin is my fantasy. And so I'm in one of these like gated communities out in the suburbs, basically like a bedroom community in like Connecticut or something. This recently divorced woman moves into the community. Absolutely gorgeous in every way imaginable. Leggy, brunette, smoky eyes, just has all the dudes at the community just going crazy. All these guys are stumbling over each other to like mow her lawn and like carry her groceries in and shit like that. And she's just eating it up. She loves it. Like she does things intentionally to like provoke this kind of attention from these guys, and it's really rubbing a lot of the wives and some of the other people in the community the wrong way. And I'm just kind of watching this all happen and not really, doesn't really faze me in any way. One day I'm walking down the street and she sees me and she's gardening and she waves at me, and I just completely ignore her and keep walking. And she kind of thinks like maybe I just didn't see her. But then the next time I'm like walking to work, and she like times it so she goes out to get a newspaper at the time that I'm walking by, and she stops and she makes a comment about the weather, and I just completely ignore her, do not even acknowledge her at all, and it's just driving her crazy. So she keeps making like little attempts to try to, you know, get my attention and talk to me, and like I'll just walk by her, but at the same time I'll like stop to make small talk with somebody who's walking their dog, you know, or like I'll talk to the mailman like directly in front of her, but not even acknowledge her whatsoever. To the point where like she actually like gets in front of me and starts waving her hand in front of my face and it's like, "Hello, do you see me? I'm here." And I just like walk around her. I just don't even acknowledge her. It's just driving her crazy. At this point, it's like explicitly disrespectful. Like I clearly have something against her, but she just doesn't know what, and I refuse to communicate with her in any way. So she does some like kind of digging on me because she's just fascinated by me, because all these other guys are just like eating out of her hand. So she's like, "Is he gay? Is he like," she finds out I'm a single guy. I'm on like dating sites. She tries to like make a connection with me on these dating sites, and I block her and ignore her. So she knows I'm like out there, you know, and it's just absolutely baffling. One night she's getting ready for bed and she hears a kind of like rustling out of her window. So she goes to her window and she sees me completely naked with a woman that I met on one of these dating sites on this like tree box that is not technically her property, but is like right in front of her house. Technically it belongs to like the homeowners association. And I'm just missionary style stroking this woman under the moonlight. I'm having sex missionary style, and I'm just like in a steady groove, like I'm going in and out very smoothly at like 120 beats per minute, you know, just like a very consistent groove. You know, I'm not like going too fast, I'm not going too slow, I'm just very like consistent. Like you could set a watch to this, to the flow that I'm doing.
A metronome.
You know? Metronome, yeah. Bathing in this moonlight. It's a full moon. And she's kind of like, she's definitely intrigued, but because I've been so just rude and disrespectful to her, she feels like she's got some kind of axe to grind, you know, with me. So she, the next day I'm walking to work and she says, "I saw that little show you were performing last night, and I do not appreciate that." And I just keep walking, just like every other day, you know. The next day, same thing. She looks out her window and I'm just slowly and methodically having sex with a woman on this plot of land.
Is it the same woman?
Yeah, it's the same woman.
Oh, cool.
And so she comes outside and she's in a bathrobe and she's like, "Hey, I see you. If you don't stop, I'm gonna call the security office and they're gonna put a stop to this." And I just completely ignore her. The woman I'm having sex with, I've had a conversation with her beforehand about to just completely tune out this woman entirely, give her no kind of like any kind of attention whatsoever. So I just continue just like very slowly and methodically, slow stroking. The next day, same thing happens. I'm out there in this like little plot of land, and she calls the homeowners association security, and the security guard comes by and he's like, "Excuse me, you can't do that here." And I just, without skipping a beat, I pass him a piece of paper behind me. I don't stop, I don't even say anything, and it's a petition where 2/3 of the homeowners association voted that I could have sex on this plot of land. because it was mostly other people that just have it out for this woman, this very attractive woman that all their husbands are fawning after.
All the wives.
So yeah, all the wives have organized them to sign this petition that says it's by, as far as the homeowners association is concerned, I'm allowed to slow stroke out on this property under the moonlight. So, the security guard's like, there's nothing I can do. I gotta, these all the paperwork's here, and I'm just gonna, maybe you might want to call the state police or the county police, but I can't do anything here. And so she's like, oh. So she goes inside. Next day, exact same thing. I'm out there stroking and ignoring her completely. And she calls the regular police, 911. And she's like hiding back in her house and like looking out the window, waiting for them to come, because obviously I'm having sex out in public, so obviously they're gonna do something, right? So they pull up. Two cops get out, and they're looking at me. One of them leans into the other cop, says something. They call on a radio. 2 other cops show up. Then another car shows up with 2 more officers. So there's like 6 cops all together, just like standing around me, leaning in, pointing, and just like watching me have sex, in kind of like a circle. One of them starts to masturbate. Another squad car shows up with some wings, and they start having lunch, and a couple more officers start masturbating. One of them starts jacking another officer off and sucking his dick. So they're just having a really good time out here. And it's driving this woman absolutely batshit crazy. This like very attractive woman. And something inside of her snaps. So the next day, she drives her car straight into my living room. And she gets out and she's like, "You gonna fucking talk to me now, huh? You gonna fucking talk to me now?" And she realizes that the car is on top of me, and I'm slowly bleeding out, and I'm screaming. I'm like, "Somebody help! Somebody help! Call an ambulance! Help! I'm bleeding! I'm dying!" And she's like, "I can call an ambulance for you." And I'm like, "Somebody please help!" I'm just completely ignoring her, but still like screaming for help. She's like, "I have my cell phone right here. I can call an ambulance." I'm like, "Somebody help!" And a neighbor shows up and calls 911. But by that time, I've already died, bled out, and that's it.
Damn. That's a good one. The code of silence.
Yeah,
the brotherhood, fraternal order of police officers, man.
They just knew they were having a good time. They're like, we could lock up this guy, but we're just having too much fun, and it feels too good to watch this guy. He's just gonna get out anyways. Yeah,
they're just gonna let him off.
I told him. I mean, yeah, I'm like, I'll be out here fucking again in 24 hours. There's nothing you can do about it. But you can see how maddening it would be for this woman who sets up so much of her life to just garner attention in different ways, and just to have that completely denied to her. It's almost at a point where me denying the attention in such a robust way was almost giving her attention.
Oh yeah.
But she didn't know what to do with that.
She was living in your head, for sure.
This was all done explicitly to play some kind of game with her.
It's cool that you were slow sliding for several days in a row, and all of the wives weren't looking at you. They were looking at her to see what she was going to do.
Yeah, they just wanted to get back at her. There's another alternate version of the fantasy where I was propositioned by all the wives to one by one slow bone them in front of this woman.
That's tacky, though.
Yeah, that just seemed like it wasn't as much of a dance between me and this beautiful woman as it was just me being used as a tool.
It's too pleasurable for you.
For this, yeah, for these for these women.
Yeah. I had a cool fantasy that I buy an apartment building, and I get a contractor to do some repairs. There's like 3 units in there.
Yeah.
And this contractor, he's working really slow. So one day I come in there and I just
cold bricking,
start yelling at him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do that. What's taking so long? What are you doing down here? And he's got his buddy. I was like, I don't know who this guy is.
Yeah.
Who, Dave? I'm like, yeah, Dave. Who's Dave? Why is Dave here? Am I paying him too? It's Dave, you know?
Yeah.
And then I threatened him. I'm like, you signed a contract. I'm going to take your ass to fucking court and to jail.
Yeah.
And they're going to beat your ass in jail. I go home. And after I go home, this guy goes completely insane.
Mm-hmm.
And he murders everyone in the building.
Wow. So is that blood on your hands or his hands?
I don't. Hold on a second. It might be on my hands, and then then I have to. Obviously, I don't go to jail because I didn't do the killing myself, and so I'm just down and out again. My family leaves me, and I'm just living in this place. I'm just doing Airbnb because I can't stand the sight of like someone sticking around long enough to find out that they're in like a haunted place now, the famous place where a contractor killed all these people. And there's this couple that keeps walking by, and they're kind of like they're kind of like just passing as normals, but there's something off key about them. It's like, are they Eastern European? I mean, they're white, but are they like Eastern European? Are they, you know, like ex-drug addicts who just got sober and now they're just like starting over again, so they're like a little behind or something?
Right, yeah.
Something's off with them, and they have a dog. And this dog hates me, man. Every time I see this fucker, he is just trying to kill me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I go up to him, I'm like, you guys, what do you think of the neighborhood? They're like, we like the neighborhood, but there's no place for our dogs to play.
Uh-huh.
They're like, there's playgrounds where kids can play, but there's no place for our dogs. What are our dogs supposed to do? We don't have a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I see your problem. I buy a lot,
Uh-huh.
and I turn it into a dog playground.
Yeah.
It's right next door to my place. And people are allowed to go in there, and they can play with their doggies like it's a playground, like it's their children. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's even like a little schoolhouse, and the doggies can go there. They can drop the doggies off, and they teach the dogs like math equations and stuff like that.
Sure.
There's a slide and stuff. They can put the dog in a swing. Finally, they can do that.
Uh-huh.
And I have a sniper rifle.
Uh-huh.
I hire like veterans to like go up there and like, if any of the dogs like start killing, like mauling other dogs or people, they just put a bullet right in its brain, blow it up.
Sure.
But on the first floor, I have this place called the Doggy Oasis,
Uh-huh.
and like invite people up to like, they can get my famous grilled cheese sandwiches, and we listen to the Grateful Dead and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Whatever else is good. Tame Impala. What else?
Slightly Stupid.
Slightly Stupid. Nicki Minaj. Beyonce, of course, the queen.
Yeah.
All white stuff. And when at nighttime, I kind of like throw like orgies, basically,
Yeah.
for the dog people.
Yeah.
And you can come there any night of the week, and it is banging all night long, literally.
Yeah.
And there's a part where I am on a couch and I'm making out with a blonde woman and a dark-haired woman at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, do you guys want to play Truth or Dare? Long story short, we all have sex with each other. I have sex doggy style, missionary, 69. One sits on my face, the other one is riding me.
Sure.
Reverse cowgirl. They goof around a little bit. I go to the bathroom to like just cool off.
Yeah.
I come back, they're wearing lingerie, but they're also wearing white socks, like gym socks, and like big Reeboks. And their lingerie is like still on somehow. And they're just having a drink after like a romp, and I like come and sit down, and I'm just like, they both start like massaging me and stuff. And then we get back into it again. And I don't actually bust. I don't rope that night. So it's kind of like a turning point for me, where I was just like, this isn't about an ending.
Yeah.
It's about growing. And then I realized, like, I finally, like, I go down to the basement. And, because I've been edging like this whole time.
Yeah.
The sun is up. These girls are still like, they're trying to keep up with me, but they're falling asleep. And they're like, when are you going to rope? They're like begging me to rope. Like, man, just rope. And they're like dozing off to sleep. Just rope. Shh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I go into the basement, and I'm actually like massaging myself, and I summon the spirit of the contractor. And I say, this is for you. You are free now. You can go. And then I bust down the drain. And the whole house starts glowing red, vibrating red. Things are like starting to float around a little bit.
Yeah.
And shake. And it's like a release from my body, from the building. And poof, just like that, I just feel a weight lifted.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You traveled over to the other side.
Oh, yeah. Oh, because the contractor was beaten to death in prison.
Oh, okay.
So he was dead.
Yeah.
He was like kind of haunting. I was like, that's on me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so good.
So I testified against him.
Yeah. And those poor women, you just didn't rope.
Jesus, they are fine as hell in my imagination too.
Yeah.
Like, they look good. They're not like young.
No.
They're just like beautiful women my age.
Yeah. With Reeboks.
Reeboks on. One's wearing red bra and panties, and the other one's wearing like black bra and panties, but they're identical but different colors, and they're both wearing white socks and Reeboks.
And they both have, one of them's got really short hair, the other one has really long hair.
Oh yeah, how'd you know?
I can see it. I'm inside your head.
Damn. Yes, one of them does have short hair. Was it the blonde one or the brunette?
Oh, I don't know. I know the brunette had long.
Which one?
The brunette had long hair.
Yes, that's right. The blonde had short blonde hair.
Yeah, and it was like kind of like Pink's hair. It was like spiky a little bit.
It's like growing out of that.
Yeah,
it's like growing out of a side shave.
Yeah, and you can see the
like transitioning.
And you can see the roots a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I was drawing a woman today, and I was getting a little bit horny. Does that ever happen to you? When you draw the female figure?
It probably would.
Yeah.
I feel like I could fall in love with a drawing of a woman I drew, you know?
Yeah. You have time for a quick one I got loaded up?
Of course.
Before we get into that, they opened a new Popeyes by my house, and I've been passing by it a lot, stopping and getting a lot of their chicken, really fond of it. And, for 50 years ago in New Orleans, Louisiana, a taste sensation was born. What begun with one small restaurant and one big idea turned into a craze that swept the nation and the world. My favorite thing to get there is the two-piece classic signature chicken combo, dark. Only 1,187 calories, and that sounds like a lot, but for a meal, it's not that bad. 2 pieces of our signature chicken marinated for 12 hours in our traditional savory Louisiana herbs and seasonings, then battered up with our own crunchy southern coating and fried until golden brown. You can't beat this chicken. If you haven't tried Popeye's chicken, get out from under the rock that you're under and go eat it right now, because you haven't tasted anything like it. Love that chicken from Popeyes. You're talking about earlier about like pre-war World War II France, and I was thinking, imagining, fantasizing, I thought it'd be really hot if I was a fighter pilot, or like I was shot down, me and a crew in enemy territory by the Germans, and we wake up in a POW camp, like have a vague memory of some like of being in like a surgery table, and there's some doctors above us and bright lights and different but nothing, no solid memories, and just trying to kind of like piece together exactly how we got there. And we don't really know, but one thing we know is like every time we touch our body, we feel really good. It just feels really good. And so we're like, man, what kind of drugs did they have us on? Like, what kind of weird experiment did they do? And so we were like giving each other back rubs and foot rubs, like me and 3 other guys. So there's 4 of us. And it just feels incredible. It feels like just our whole body is just like so sensitive, but in the best way possible. We see that there's a gap in the security of the POW camp. So we find a way to get underneath the fence and the barbed wire, and we make a break for it. And all 4 of us are like running across this big field, and the Germans realize that we're gone, and an alarm goes off and they start firing at us. And one of our guys is hit. We make it. We jump into the back of a train, and we're free, but this one guy is shot. And so we look at him, and I lift up his shirt, and I can see that his skin, like we all start to notice our skin is like kind of pink, but you can also see the veins underneath it a lot better than you could before. And I look at the wound, and there's cum coming out of the bullet wound. It's like not blood, it's just like cum is oozing out of it. And the Germans turned our whole bodies into penises as part of this experiment. It's like Dr. Mengele experiment. And that's why it felt so good to like touch ourselves, And so we're just these penises filled with cum. So like imagine every part of your body, of your skin, is like an erect penis, like your legs, your torso, each finger.
That is really amazing.
And instead of blood coursing through your veins is cum.
Yeah, that's really a fascinating idea. I mean, just to think of the way your body would feel like that is really something to think about. I mean, your penis is not small, but compared to the rest of your body, proportionally, it's a smaller unit.
Yeah.
But if your entire body is a penis, I mean, the mechanics of pleasure.
Think about that for a second.
What is that? Yeah,
think about those possibilities.
That's incredible.
That was just the jumping off point. There's a whole bunch of different places that you could go with that. Like, what would it feel like to...
Life was harder then, too.
Yeah. Like, how would it feel to jump in a ball pit? How would it feel to go down a water slide? How would it feel to, like, go to Great America and just let your body get thrown around?
I'd probably, like, I got a mattress in this room laying up against this wall because I'm kind of like in between living situations right now. I would probably just have someone put a mattress below me on top of me, someone pull my arms, another person pull my feet back and forth. You know what I mean? Me and the other penis men can like practice do that. That'd be one way that you could just explore, and that would just be the beginning. The thing is that we can't actually conceive of all of the possibilities of something like this because we're not actually it. So you just have to imagine.
I pictured we're like walking through like the German country, and we go to a bar, and we saddle up to the bar, and like everybody's quiet, because like, who the fuck are these guys?
Mm-hmm.
And we say, I thought the Krauts had good fucking beer. And I slam my mug down on the table, and a bunch of like buff, like Bavarian guys stand up because them's fighting words over there. And they just start beating the shit out of us, and we let them, and it feels amazing. Just imagine if your whole body's a penis and you're just getting like 3 guys are just kicking you.
That sounds incredible.
Yeah.
Or like if you got a convertible, you're back stateside, you get a convertible, you get into like the movie business or whatever, and you make a little bit of coin. You just go to the car wash.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? With the top down.
Yeah.
That has got to feel amazing.
What about this? You go to SeaWorld and you swim with the dolphins. And they're just bumping up against you.
Yes. The textures would feel so much more real to you.
Yeah.
It's like humans can only feel a certain spectrum of textures. Something like that's got to like open you up to like 20, 50 different textures that you can feel.
Yeah. You could feel like mushrooms growing. Like if you lay down in a field after a rain, you could feel the mushrooms growing around you.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That would be a gift. This is a gift.
It would be a gift. It would be manna from heaven. It really would be. And if you made it out of that godforsaken shithole of Europe alive, you could be, I mean, sky's the limit in the United States. You could be president, war veteran, gigantic penis.
But you'd be so sensitive to other people, you'd probably be able to feel like their thoughts and stuff.
Yeah. And you know what'd feel really good is every time, like if you're on the campaign trail, you're pressing the flesh, that would feel incredible. Shaking hands, you have 5 penises and your fingers rubbing up against somebody's hand.
Let me just share with you some other notes.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it would be cool to summon demonic forces to destroy a Mexican party next door.
Yeah.
Like a Mexican family is having a party.
Yeah.
I can see them setting up like a sound system, a tent, and putting up balloons. And I just know it's going to be a bad one.
Yeah.
And I basically sell my soul to the devil. I cut my wrists open and make a pentagram on the floor in front of my bed, and I summon the devil to destroy their party.
Yeah.
The speakers blow up, a bunch of ghosts like run around and scare them. They don't get hurt or anything. They're just...
It's like a scene from Ghostbusters.
Yeah, all the balloons pop. Their punch bowls turns into boiling. Yeah, boils, exactly. All the beer cans blow up, and like there's demons running around and scaring everyone.
Yeah.
And then the party's over, and then I enjoy the rest of my life, and then I know I'm going to spend an eternity in hell, but it was worth it.
Yeah, you got like 7.5 hours of sleep. You woke up in the middle of the night and got on social media and couldn't get back to sleep.
Burning Man was recently happened.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, imagine being a penis body during the Burning Man.
Oh my
tragedy.
God. The mud would feel incredible.
Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can do it for you. Only you can let it in. No one else. No one else.
Oh man. Imagine like slogging through the mud, and like every time you step, your foot gets stuck and you pull it out. It's like a million pussies.
Atreyu! Remember that?
No.
Never Ending Story?
No, I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
You ain't fuck with that when you were... You didn't fuck with that when you were...
Yeah, yeah, but I haven't seen it since I was little ass
This
kid.
horsey gets eaten by a mud pool.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like quicksand or something.
Yeah, same. Yeah, just like that.
I was terrified of quicksand when I was a kid.
Shit ain't real.
No.
My bro actually got eaten by quicksand once.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Straight up died.
It's been painful. I'm going to look up if
Craig.
it's actually real.
It was Craig, dude.
Oh, Craig died from
Yeah,
quicksand?
Craig died, dude.
Oof.
Quicksand ate his ass. See, he never respected nature and shit.
No, he didn't.
And he would go around and like disrespect nature, and that's why I couldn't hang with him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went to the jungle and he got eaten up by the quicksand. I was like,
I mean,
okay, that makes sense.
yeah, he had it coming, honestly.
Dude could come though.
Yeah, Craig was a ropeaholic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quicksand, I guess, is it's real.
Oh no, you're gonna be up all night.
But you can't like die from it. Like in the cartoons.
What cartoon have you seen someone die in quicksand?
I don't know if I've seen anybody die in it.
Yeah, it just pisses me off when people say stuff like that. It doesn't make any sense. You didn't see a cartoon where someone died of quicksand.
No, but I definitely remember seeing like people get pulled out of quicksand in cartoons.
Go catch up.
Did you?
All right, let's stop. Definitely stop recording.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna edit most of this out.